Hey gang, Tony here, and I've got another review discussion sort of thing for Naked Zombie Girl. So you may have watched my other video about Hectic Films' new movie, short film that's coming out at the conventions pretty soon, A Familiar Spirit, and they liked the video. I don't know why. I was like a rambling mess and I couldn't even piece together a coherent synopsis, but they still thought it was an alright video. Thanks, guys. So they sent me a copy of, or a download code for the Naked Zombie Girl, which I knew about but never saw. I wanted to see for a while, actually. And I got that downloaded. It actually was a cool little package. I'll give you guys the link to it if you want to check it out yourselves. I believe, I want to say it's like $7.99, something like that, and you actually get a little bundle. It's the movie, and it's about a 28-minute short film, and comes with a couple of trailers, you know, all separate files. Comes with a small photo shoot, a Q&A with the filmmakers. Ricky Bird is the writer-director, and there's also another short film called Infection, which is pretty good too. That's about 5 minutes long. I watched that one as well. I'll talk about briefly in this video. So, Naked Zombie Girl, right? Yeah, it's pretty much what you would expect, I think. I did something different this time. I got the synopsis on my phone, so I can read without having to worry, because it's on IMDb. I'm pretty sure they wrote this, the filmmakers. In Naked Zombie Girl, two prostitutes and their friend Tony have just escaped a zombie attack in a 1971 Cadillac Fleetwood Roman. Unfortunately, Tony has been bitten and is about to turn into a zombie. That's all you really need to know, other than star Megan... I'm going to butcher the last name. I'm really sorry about this. I'm awful at pronouncing names, but that's all you really need to know, other than star Megan Shadane somehow loses her dress and goes on a maddening zombie killing spree. And that is the movie. It's a lot of fun. Alright, where to begin with the Naked Zombie Girl? It's not as campy as you might expect. That was the first thing that I thought of when I was watching this. It's actually... Now, it's got the whole Grindhouse feel. That's definitely part of this movie. It's got the whole Grindhouse feel going for it, including all of the kinds of like film filters and things that you might expect with the film grain and, you know, pieces of the movie kind of cut out and skipping film, and the discoloration and the burned out film from a projector, that kind of stuff, which I always love. It lends a certain kind of atmosphere to films there. That kind of just awesome. So it has all that kind of stuff, but in terms of like, just based on the title, I was expecting something sort of tongue-in-cheek, campy, funny, sort of. And while there are, I want to say like one or two humorous moments, mostly it's actually a pretty serious take on, you know, a zombie spree. So that surprised me, but was welcome because, you know, it was a surprise, right? Couple of things I've noticed now, having watched two of Ricky Bird's films. I noticed that he is fond of like these the extended shots that are very quiet, you know. At the beginning of this film and at the beginning of A Familiar Spirit, and I can't remember if I talked about that in the other review that I did, but there's this like just long sort of quiet take where you get to watch the scene unfold. And I really enjoy that, too. Another thing that was interesting about this movie, there's, like, no dialogue. I want to say that maybe I heard her utter, like, no at one point. But otherwise, I'm fairly certain I should have watched it a second time before I did this, but almost positive there's, like, no dialogue. And that, with the editing style and with the shooting style, creates this really cool atmosphere. Very, I don't know, like ominous, I guess. And it works very well for this. Something else I forgot to talk about with A Familiar Spirit in the video, which is true of A Familiar Spirit as well as Naked Zombie Girl, the effects are top notch. Their makeup jobs, the zombie makeup, the blood and gore. There is, I want to say about 90%. I'm just making up percent. I'm making stuff up. I'll tell you right now. My percentages always made up. 90%. 90% of the time, I'm correct 100% of the time. 90% of the effects seem to be practical effects, right? Practical makeup effects, real blood, real gore. And then there's like about a 10% time, 10%. I'm just making stuff up, like I said, where there's like CGI blood splatters and stuff like that. And they do a really good job of mixing the two, I think, because when you see the movie, the times where they use the CGI gore, they also put on these other filters with the film, and it, like, I don't even know how to explain it because I'm not a filmmaker, but it really is a cool effect overall. I'll just say it has something to do with kills with a chainsaw, and it is done really well. So I was particularly impressed in both movies that I've seen of Ricky Byrd's from Hectic Films, that the effects, they really take a lot of care in putting that stuff together. When I was reading the synopsis to you guys, I became aware of a couple of things. Interestingly, I don't know if I was just not paying close enough attention, and there were things that I should have been reading in the movie that I didn't. And I don't mean literally reading, I just mean like, you know, reading between the lines. But they give us names to all the characters, or at least a couple of the characters. And I don't think any names were actually said in the movie. I'm almost positive. I also noticed in the end credits that one of the characters' names was Barbara, which I thought was a kind of a cool kind of throwback to the Night of the Living Dead. But again, the names weren't mentioned in the film itself. And it also says that the two girls with Tony are prostitutes. I had no idea, to be honest. I was, I mean, I get it. It makes sense now, because one of the things I thought of was like when the girl's dress rips off, it's like, oh, she doesn't wear underwear. And she's a prostitute, so not that you have to be a prostitute not to wear underwear, because, you know, but it did occur to me. I was like, huh, that's interesting. So a couple like plot points in the synopsis that don't really come into play necessarily, and that's, I believe, everything I wanted to say about the movie. The first, I want to say like 8 to 10 minutes is sort of set up, getting to the real action, and at that point that's when they get swarmed and the real action occurs and some really cool stuff. It just is a fun little horror movie. 28 minutes, I think I said that already. Really good stuff. I suggest you check it out. You know, if you're into that grindhouse kind of short film type of movie and naked chicks and zombies, you really can't go wrong. And briefly, I'll talk about Infection, the 5-minute short film. Again, another really cool film. Very straightforward, very little or no dialogue, if I remember again. And it's really just a guy trying to survive the zombie apocalypse in a parking garage, and the effects of that, what occurs. And, you know, being a 5-minute short film, there is only so much that can happen, but it's done really well. Again, effects are really cool, a lot of suspense. Same with Naked Zombie Girl, suspense, creepy atmosphere, great effects. Can't ask for more. Alright, everybody, check out Hectic Films. Don't forget their YouTube channel is going to be relaunched. They already have some videos up there, so check out Hectic Films YouTube. Check out their main webpage, and go download your copy of Naked Zombie Girl. I should mention, if you have a Roku, you can upload the app to your Roku and watch the downloaded films on your TV, which is what I did. Alright, have a good one. Breathe deep in the night. Stay cool. See ya.